This is Adam Kokesh coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico on Sunday, June 21st. Our team just got back from a whirlwind week in Washington, D.C. On our way there, we met with R.J. Harris at his campaign headquarters. That's right, R.J. Harris, the fellow Iraq veteran, constitutionalist, and candidate for United States Congress from Oklahoma's 4th District. Then we stopped by the Campaign for Liberty state meeting in Missouri. Got a great chance to hang out with those domestic terrorists in the state of Missouri. That is anybody who believes in the Second Amendment and supported Ron Paul, Bob Barr, or Chuck Baldwin. According to the government now, you're a domestic terrorist. Just thought you'd like to know. We also had a fundraiser in Potomac, Maryland that was very successful, not just in terms of money raised, but really in spreading the word to a really great group of activist-type supporters up there, and got a lot of volunteers involved up there. We met with Ron Paul on Tuesday and got some great advice about the race and some more support from him, including a chance to do a video that is up on our website. It's already got more than 6,000 views, so if you haven't already, please check that out. If you have, thanks for helping spread the word. It was a really great opportunity to know that with the support of the people behind me, I could tell Ron Paul when he said that this country's in a lot of trouble. It's really a mess right now, and we need all the help we can get up here on Capitol Hill, to tell him that he shouldn't worry. The revolution is alive and well, especially here in New Mexico's 3rd District and throughout the region where people are coming together to help out on this campaign. And Dr. Paul, help is on the way. We also met with Walter Jones, possibly the only Republican in the United States House of Representatives more anti-war than Ron Paul. Got some great videos from his office that we got coming out hopefully sometime in the next week, so please stay tuned for those. We also met with Ralph Nader and asked him for some advice on how to take on the issue of corporatism in a campaign like this. And as soon as we mention that, he starts grabbing books off the shelves and piling them up on the table. And next thing you know, I got a reading list a mile long and a lot of homework from him. So thank you, Ralph Nader, for your support and your help in my educational efforts. I really appreciate that. We also met with Senator Mike Gravel, who was very, very enthusiastic about this race and seeing what he can do to get behind me. We got some videos from that coming out, including an announcement from him, so please stand by for that. We'll get those videos out sometime in the next couple of weeks. We also met with Rand Paul at his clinic in Bowling Green, Kentucky on our way home, and there's another good video there on the way. While we were on Capitol Hill, there was an interesting issue around and some drama surrounding the latest request from the Obama administration for war funding. He was asking for a total of about $105 billion. And the thing that was unique about it this time, isn't that it's a more aggressive version of Bush's foreign policy when he left office, but that he had the ambition at this point to also try to get in $5 billion for the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. Now that's been accurately described as a European bank bailout. You'd think it would be the last thing that the United States Congress is worried about, bailing out European banks, but of course, with the propaganda we've been led to believe that the banking system is interconnected and that with all these different fiat currency systems, somehow we need to prop them up and tax every last American with a dollar in their pocket through inflation in order to keep these artificial institutions going, on the idea that they are somehow too big to fail, which of course is the greatest fallacy and affront to the free market you could possibly imagine. And on that note, we were also following the progress of H.R. 1207, the Audit the Fed bill that Ron Paul submitted. Now, it's got 237 co-sponsors at last count. Remember, 218 is a majority in the House. However, we still don't have a majority in the House Financial Services Committee that Barney Frank chairs that we need to get it approved and out of committee. But there's so much momentum, it seems like it's going to be really, really hard to stop it in the House. I stopped by my representative's office and did what I could to encourage him to sign on. Unfortunately, he still hasn't yet. So we're still working on that, and if your representative hasn't signed on, please keep the pressure on them, because we really do need that majority, especially in the committee. Now, there are a number of ways that this bill could be killed or kept from coming to the floor. Of course, Speaker Pelosi could keep it from coming to the floor altogether on her own, but there's also a chance that it'll just get killed in the Senate, where Senator Bernie Sanders just introduced the Senate equivalent bill 604, the Federal Reserve Sunshine Act of 2009. He's already got 2 co-sponsors, which is not bad considering we've only got 100 in the Senate, so each one signed on represents a greater proportion of the whole. But we, as a movement, working to end the Fed and return honest money to this country, have a lot of work to do to get enough senators signed on so that bill is also unstoppable in the Senate. And really, it's exciting to see how that's going to come to fruition. Met with some of the people in Ron Paul's office who are working on this behind the scenes, and they're hoping that in the next few months they can bring it to a floor vote. And if that's the case, I'm going to be back in Washington, D.C. helping out with that effort and doing what I can to help push it all the way through when we pull the curtain off this thing and let people see the reality of the Federal Reserve. We also had a meeting earlier this evening with our volunteers here in Santa Fe, and right now we're primarily concerned with working on our event for Independence Day. Of course, it is the same day. Have to remind you again that our supporters have declared a money bomb to support the campaign, and if you want to pledge for that, please go to thisjuly4th.com. We got some great videos up there. But we also have seen now on YouTube some incredible videos of people who are working on signage to help promote the campaign and the event that weekend. So check those out. If you go to our webpage under events, you'll see one for Celebrate American Revolution. Check that out. We're working on a great speakers list. We're going to have more information about that there. And there's lots of ways to get involved, helping out with online promotion, media promotion, signage, all sorts of great stuff. And of course with the event itself. So if you in any way want to help out, please send an email to volunteer@kokeshforcongress.com. I'm also getting ready to make a big announcement that day, so stand by for that. If we don't have it live broadcast or streaming somewhere, we'll definitely have videos of that shortly. Now, for the quote I'd like to leave you with this week, I want to share with you Ralph Nader's book, Crashing the Party. This is one that he gave to me when I visited him in Washington, D.C. And he signed it to Adam for Leadership and Justice, Ralph Nader. But he also included a quote from Marcus Cicero, which was, "Freedom is participation in power." And I don't think it was any of a coincidence that Senator Mike Gravel shared the same quote with us later that evening. But I have to disagree. Think about it for a second. Freedom is participation in power. Obviously, you could have a situation in which everybody is participating in power, and yet no one is free because everyone is working to do violence or commit aggression through the government or force of government on each other, and no one is free. I think freedom is different. Freedom is the natural state of humanity. It is only when we aggress against each other, when we commit acts of aggression against fellow human beings, that we cease to be free, that they cease to be free. And it is only when we embrace a philosophy of morality in which we do not commit acts of aggression against fellow human beings, and we do not tolerate aggression for whatever excuse by whatever official with a fancy hat or a nice badge. As long as we don't tolerate acts of aggression against fellow human beings, only then will we all truly be free. Thank you.